The Minnesota Vikings are absolutely for real. Wow. What a free agency so far. This might be my favorite free agency so far. They have signed stud after stud after stud. 2 Indianapolis Colts to the interior offensive line. Welcome, Ryan Kelly. Welcome, Will Freeze. Welcome, Jonathan Allen to the defensive tackle position. And Javon Hargrave. Javon Hargrave and Jonathan Allen beside Grenard and Thor himself, Andrew Van Ginkel, in a Brian Flores defense? Forget about it. And Isaiah Rodgers might have been my favorite signing of all of them. We're going to break it down right here. Let's talk about it. First of all, let's talk about the offensive line. Ryan Kelly has been one of the best centers in football for a while. Since he entered the NFL out of Alabama, he's a former first-round pick, 18th overall in the 2016 NFL Draft. Since day one, good football player, 6'4", 307. His problem throughout his career has been conkies. The conkies and the injuries, okay? He has 4 Pro Bowls on his resume. As of late, he's had some injuries, but not too bad. Like last year, he played 10 games. The year before that, 14. The year before that, 17, 14, 15, 16, 12. Okay, so he misses a couple games a year. But when he's out there, he's a top 10 center in the NFL. Like solidified top 10 center in the NFL. No problems, no questions asked. And he is much better than Garrett Bradbury. Garrett Bradbury, I don't know why they signed him. I don't know why they thought he could be something he's not. He is not good at football. All right, he's not good at football. He's never been good at football in the NFL. Okay, he was good in college. He got drafted in the first round. Congratulations. Ryan Kelly, 1,139 snaps, 11th graded center last year. Now for comparison, Garrett Bradbury, 29th graded center last year. Okay, so you're going from, or 27th, sorry. So you're going 16 spots better to Ryan Kelly at 11. Now, Ryan Kelly only played 601 snaps. Garrett Bradbury played those 1,191. I think I reversed that when I talked about it at first. But you're vastly improving your pass protection. Garrett Bradbury had a 50.5 pass blocking grade, while Ryan Kelly had a 71.9. Right? And that feels about right in the eye test. If you watched the Vikings last year, you would see at the end of the year, the interior pressure became a problem for them. And they needed a center that could hold. They needed a center that could anchor in the middle of their line. And they constantly got penetrated right up the middle of their offensive line, right? So in 2023, 8th was Ryan Kelly on center. Let me just read the grades for you guys. 2016, his rookie year, 20th. 2017, 31st, not very good. 2018, 10th. 2019, 8th. 2020, 13th. 2021, poor, 32nd. 2022, 16th. So since 2022, 16, 8, and 11th. Pass blocking, 5th. He is an elite pass blocker. All right. So Ryan Kelly, really good player, really good pickup if he stays healthy. He's 31, turning 32 in May. A little bit older, but for a center, I'm not that concerned. Center, I don't really care if you're 25, okay? So, yeah, big-time pickup, big-time addition for the interior. Now, you complement him with Will Freeze, also a underrated name from the Colts, another Colt. He's a little younger, though. He has a lot less experience. He is 26, turning 27 in April. He is a former 7th round pick. Good find by the Colts. This year, he only played 5 games. So if there is concern about their pickups, it's the injuries these guys have had. But sometimes those can be really good pickups because they're undervalued based on their inability to play in one season. But in the previous seasons, 2022, 2023, he's been a starter at guard, right guard specifically, opposite Quentin Nelson on their offensive line. This year, he was having a breakout season, which is why I bring it up, okay? This year, his grade was through the roof in the games that he did play. In the games that he did play, he was right up there. 86.9 grade, 84.9 run block grade, and a 74.9 pass block. So just to put that, he would have been 4th in the NFL. In his 268 snaps, he had the 4th best grade among all guards. In the last couple of years, he was 32nd and 50th. So he moved from 50th to 32nd to 4th. So that was the progression of his game, being a 7th round pick in 2021. So he has progressed throughout his years in the NFL. And he's 6'6", 305. Tall guard. A really tall guard. But that, I think he probably has a tackle background. I'm not too familiar. Yes, he does. So he has a former tackle background. That makes sense. He's 6'6". So that also leads you to being a better pass protector a lot of the times. So that's what they were looking for. Interior pass protection for their young quarterback, J.J. McCarthy, for the future. So Ryan Kelly, Will Freeze, 2 Colts to the Vikings to help their interior, all right? Now, interior on the other side needed some help. Jonathan Allen and Javon Hargrave are going to play on the outside of Harrison Phillips. Good luck, NFL. Javon Hargrave has declined as a player. He's not what he used to be. He's 32. He's a former Steeler, Niner, and Eagle. His peak was with the Eagles in 2022. He had 11 sacks with the Eagles in 17 games, had 60 tackles, and was a force for that team and that defense, that all-time sack-setting defense. He also had 7 sacks on either side of that season with Philly and San Francisco, where he was a 2-time Pro Bowler. His concern about his game is run defense. I don't think he's a great run defender, but I actually like him in this system with Flores because he'll rather be on a 4-man line, 4-man line, right? So if it's a nickel formation, 4-man, he'll be there, right, as a pass rusher on pass sets. Or they could go to a 5-man line where pressure is being taken off of him in rundowns, okay? So more of what he used to do with Pittsburgh. He actually was a bit of a nose tackle in Pittsburgh in his first few seasons before kind of transitioning to more of a defensive tackle role, right? So the nose tackle plays right over the center. Defensive tackle shades the center to either side. So it'll be interesting to see how you use him because he has the versatility of doing both, although he's been more of a defensive tackle ever since 2020. So, yeah, I think Hargrave is still a good player. He can get after the quarterback. He can sack the quarterback. He's not the best run defender, in my opinion. Did he even play? I think he played early in the year and he went down, if I'm not mistaken. Because I'm trying to remember, he played really early in the season. Then he got hurt. So he played 104 snaps. Yeah, he didn't play very much at all. But, yeah, he had a 60.6 grade, which isn't great. But his pass rush grade was still 73.3. His run defense, 44.7, right? So that's a really bad run defense grade. Really good pass rush grade. The years previous, 24th in 2023, 11th in 2022. With the Steelers, 2017 through 2019, he had some really good seasons. 9th in 2019, 20th in 2018. So, yeah, 6'2", 304. A little bit undersized, height-wise, I guess, but nah, it's not, not really. So Hargrave is a good pickup, more of the pass rusher. Jonathan Allen is just a dog. I don't think he really has any weaknesses. 6'3", 300 pounds, one of my favorite defensive linemen in football over the last 7 years. Another Alabama player. First round, 17th overall in 2017. Did not have his best season last year due to injury. Only played 8 games, had 3 sacks, 19 tackles. But before that, had never really missed a game. He played 16 games, 16 games, 17 games, 16 games, 15 games, 16 games. As a rookie, he only played 5 games. But he's been one of the better pass rushing D tackles in football pretty consistently. He peaked with 9 sacks in 2021, 2-time Pro Bowler in 2021 and 2022. Those were his peak seasons. Okay? He was also on the one Commander team that made the playoffs previous to this one with the 2020 season. But in the playoffs, he started all 3 games. He played all 3 games. He's declined a bit. He's not at his peak anymore. He graded as the 70th best defensive tackle. Last year, he was 65th in terms of grading. His run defense also was pretty poor according to the grade at 114th. His pass rush was 32nd. I do wonder, again, Allen has mostly played, he's played a little bit of both, but he's mostly played in 4-3 type systems. Hargrave's kind of played in both. I'm not really sure, where he like in a traditional 3-4, he'd play the end. In a 4-3, he'd play D tackle. I kind of, so in a 5-man front, he would play like the 5 tech. And in a 4-3, he would be the 3 tech. But I could see him playing in a rotation if they're going to play, like a lot of teams play mostly nickel. So Allen, I could see Hargrave and Phillips rotating while Allen is like the guy that plays most of the snaps. That would probably be my guess. That would be my guess. But they could rotate all of them. Allen was 18th graded in 2020, 3rd overall in 2021, and 11th in 2022. Last season, checking out some of the pressure stats, we'll go into that, and we'll look at Hargrave. We'll look at Allen. Does anyone know what his injury was? Was it an ACL? I'm pretty sure it was an ACL. So that's obviously something you've got to take into account. Hargrave, I'm not sure what the contract was. Allen was 3 years, $60 million. Will Freeze was 5 years, $88 million. Young player, so that does make sense for the 5 years, but that's a lot of money. Ryan Kelly, 2 years, $18 million is a bargain, and we'll get to Isaiah Rodgers, I also think is a bargain. I think Hargrave tore his ACL, but I could be wrong. So last year, Allen had 26 pressures in 250 pass snaps. He had 3 sacks, 6 hits, 6.3 PRP, a 10.4 win percentage. So 10.4 win percentage would be 41st. His PRP of 6.3 pass rushing productivity would be 25th. That's pretty good. Pressures, though, the injuries definitely hurt him. So it's kind of hard to say that he played at his best this past season at 2024. 2023 is really where you can look at both of these players. Oh, he tore his tricep. Okay. That's interesting. That's probably not as bad as an ACL, but that does have to do with your leverage and your upper body, so you have to build that strength back up. So that's interesting for a defensive tackle. Thank you guys for that. Appreciate it. Last year, in 2023, Hargrave had the 8th most pressures in football with 64, and Jonathan Allen had the 17th most with 49. And then in terms of, run defense, I would say Allen's better than Hargrave. Hargrave is probably the slightly better pass rusher. Now, to finish it off with Isaiah Rodgers, who was the 4th corner for the Eagles Super Bowl champion defense last year. He's also been a very underrated player in Indianapolis, another Indianapolis player, okay? Played 9 starts in Indy in 2022 and was pretty good in that system. Had actually 4 fumble recoveries in that year. 3 passes defensed, 1 forced fumble, 34 tackles. That's a really weird stat. Last year, he did not have an interception. He had 3 interceptions in 2021. Last year, when he played, he allowed an 82 passer rating, a 4.2 yards per target, only 13 completions on 28 attempts, which was 46% completion percentage. It's very good numbers. He's underrated, I think. He's got good size, decent size, a little bit undersized in terms of his weight. He's only 170 pounds. He's 27, turning 28. He already turned 27, so he was in January. So he's not turning 28 this year, so not until next year. So he's only a real 27. 2 years, $15 million. Was the guy that would go into the game for Darius Slay when Darius Slay went down. Teams would try to pick on him with not a lot of success. Looking at his grading from last year and the previous season. Isaiah Rodgers was 24th in the NFL, according to PFF, at corner, 421 snaps as a backup. He had an 83.4 run defense grade, actually, which was elite last season, 31st in coverage grade. He has never had a bad grade in his career. Through 4 seasons, 2022, he was the 5th graded corner in football. 2021, he was 25th. And in 2020, he had an 85.6 rating, but he didn't get graded because he didn't play enough snaps. So he's never been graded poorly. He's a wide corner. Played for Massachusetts, the Minutemen, in college. That's interesting. 6th round pick in 2020. So he's had to earn his way. But I like Rodgers. Like I said, great grading. Good stuff so far. We'll see if he plays a bigger role. I could see him starting on the Vikings as a wide corner. Gilmore's a free agent. Shaq Griffin's a free agent. They don't really have another one of those right now. They just got Rodgers, Byron Murphy. So Byron Murphy will probably play nickel. So those are the Viking signings. Fantastic stuff from them today. Awesome day for them. I think they've had a really good free agency so far.